Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for being here. Today, this happened. Ew. So today I'm going to attempt to fix all of this because nobody likes a saggy, baggy interior. So thank you for joining me today. My name is Eric, this is Horus Works, and if you like to see projects that you can do at home in your garage, make sure you follow this channel because that's what I do. Some things have let go in this Ford Focus, as you can see, so I'm going to attempt to fix that. So I've got a day ahead of me that involves removing trim pieces, removing interiors, using a lot of glue, and keeping my fingers crossed that having never done this before, I'm not going to make it worse. I'll be your guinea pig. If it works, go ahead and try this at home on your car. I'll be using some glue and some glue remover that I've picked up from the local auto parts store, and if I can do it, so can you. So let's go have a crack. Alright, so as you can see, this isn't great at all, and what's happened here is clearly this trim piece is being held on with some sort of glue that Ford applied 20 something years ago. Yeah, it's let go. So basically this trim piece is coming off, and it looks like, you know what, I'm just going to take this off. There we go. So it looks like this fabric piece is being held on to this cardboard looking thing via some glue. This trim piece up here, which I know isn't on all of the Focuses, but basically that trim piece is plastic welded into position onto this card. So we're gonna need to do some sort of plastic welding job. So it looks like this door card is covered with a vinyl. There are these little plastic trim pieces which have clearly died because they've gotten brittle and dried out over time, so they're no good anymore. So we'll see if we can somehow reattach this piece onto this door card. So now there ain't nothing to it but to do it, so let's do it. First step, take the door card off. So the fabric they've used on these cars has a foam backing, and this foam backing over time just detaches itself from the fabric. So you'll be doing a little bit of cleaning up. Just put something down so you don't make a complete mess, and I can turn this over. It's a big sheet to get to a new area. But the first thing I've got to do is take this plastic piece off, and I think this will be quite easy. Can you see that? I've only got a couple left that are holding this thing on. Snip. They're very brittle. Alright, at this point, I just put some gloves on. This is gonna be a messy job. And if you need great work gloves like these, check out the link below. You help the channel out. These are great work gloves, cut proof, moisture proof, and yeah, I appreciate it. So anyway, let's keep going. Wow, these are really just coming off quite easily. They're very brittle. So this is the plastic piece we're dealing with. I know some of the Focuses don't have this, but I've got it, so I'll put it back on. But for now, I'm just going to put it to the side. This fabric pretty much just hanging loose from this cardboard sheet. It's like a plywood cardboard mixture. Comment below, let me know what these things are made of. I can never tell. Is it MDF? In any case, here we are. So here's the fabric and here's the plywood. I'm just going to put the plywood aside for a second. All right, I'm going to get rid of as much of this foam as I can. Just got a brush here that I'm going to use to try to lift some more of this away. Oh yeah, that's doing a pretty good job. I can actually see where the glue was and actually see how little was holding this thing on. It's only a few little spots over here and there. Okay, I've got most of this foam material off of here, but I can feel that it's still a little bit sticky. What I'd like to do before I put the new glue on is get rid of some of this old glue that isn't as sticky anymore. I've got this goo remover, which I'm told works pretty well, so I'm going to give it a shot. Now, one thing to keep in mind is obviously the foam padding on the back of this fabric is gone. That layer of cushiness will be gone, but you know what? I'll take a hard fabric surface over that horrible ghetto looking thing that I had earlier. So, you know, just a trade-off. I mean, you can get this done professionally, of course, if you want to spend that sort of money, but for me, on this car, this is going to be just fine. Well, we'll see anyway. Let's see how it turns out. Okay, so this is a adhesive and paint remover. See how this reacts. Now, I don't have a lot on here, so I don't think I'll need to leave mine for that long, but I'll give it a minute. Oh yeah. Yeah, look at that, it's already coming off. All right, so I've had this on here for roughly about a minute. So let's see what a minute does. Yeah, so look at that. That adhesive is coming off, which is great. Wear gloves for these people. Make sure that you protect your hands. You're dealing with chemicals here. These nitrile gloves are great because they're moisture resistant on this side. They're also cut proof for heavier jobs. Okay, so I can feel that that's not sticky at all. This is still quite sticky. So yeah, that works pretty well. I'm just gonna leave it for a minute and then wipe it off. Okay, that should be pretty good. Yeah, check that out. There we go. So that's now good. It's not sticky. Just gonna move this aside and let it dry. While I also take everything off of this side. Now this needs a little bit of time to dry. I can feel that it's slightly damp, so I'm just going to move it aside. And in the meantime, we should address this problem. So these tabs are obviously broken off, and you got two options here. You can glue this back on onto the fabric itself. And the other thing you could do is just rebuild these tabs with some plastic welding. Keep in mind, this is a home job, not a professional job, but what you're gonna need is a soldering iron and some cable ties. Basically weld some of these cable ties onto here, so just like that. So this bit is now done. I've used about 4 or 5 cable ties to build up these sections. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm just gonna put that aside. And now it's time to get back to this thing. This thing's nice and dry now. It's not tacky at all anymore. So yeah, let's glue that piece back on. So this is the spray adhesive. Apparently it is good for trim and linings as well as a bunch of other things. So this is good stuff. About 20-25 bucks. All right, we'll let this rest for 5 minutes. This is feeling tacky now. So I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna attempt to put this on this and let's see how that goes. Alright, here goes nothing. Just line up my holes the best that I can. Alright, this side now feels pretty good. Now the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some glue over here on this side. I'm going to find another clean area. This will do. Alright, I'm going to give that 5. So let's do it. Let's reattach everything here. It's another reason why I like these gloves. Despite them being cut-proof, they're quite tactile. You know, this fabric is thin but very, very strong. So it gives me good dexterity. I've got very good movement here. I can just push these down. Awesome, that's looking great. Look at that. Everything's pushed down nicely, and there's no more foam to mess things up. Now I've got this piece ready, and I've got this piece ready as well, and this makes for quite a nice contrast. But what I'd like to do is continue adding more speed. So what I mean by that is, a little while ago I've installed this center console here, and I've covered that center section with carbon fiber. So this is a perfect opportunity to continue that theme in this car. Now if you want to check out the video on how I installed that center console with a reversing camera, etc., have a look at the link above or below. But I think now's going to be a good chance for me to get that carbon fiber going through a little bit more of the cabin, just so that it's not so isolated in the middle there. I'm going to put some carbon fiber wrap on this right now. Nice. I know it's a bit naff, but I like this carbon fiber. I'm ready to reattach these things together. So I've got my fabric here, my little trim piece over here. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to the door card. So we're gonna clean up this door card. One thing I'm very happy about is all of this loose foam that's been getting all over my interior will now be completely gone. Took quite a few goes. It took about 4 or 5 goes of this stuff to get all of the adhesive off here. There was quite a bit of adhesive on here, so that's what I'm going to do as well. I'm going to put quite a lot of adhesive back on. Makes sense. Basically this adhesive will be holding on this panel completely. So to make sure I get really good adhesion, I'm going to put a lot on. Now I'm going to use my old friend Sikaflex here. This stuff is quite universal and good for a lot of things, and I'm going to be quite liberal with the whole thing. All the way around and all of this stuff. Basically I don't want it coming off, so I'm going to put a lot on. Now I'm fairly sure I overdid that, but I'd rather have too much than too little. So just put something on here now to keep a little bit of pressure on it. Doesn't have to be super heavy, just something to weigh it down basically. Alright, so now we play the waiting game. So leave this for about 30 minutes to an hour. I'm gonna go get some lunch and I'll see you on the other side. Let's see what we've got. Woo! Looking good. Nice. Alright, that is looking awesome. Alright, one more thing to do if you've done what I have and taken off that strip, and that is flip this thing around and reattach all of these points for the that little strip. Crack out your soldering iron again, a couple of cable ties, and off you go. Alright, so there we go guys, that's done and looking lovely. So it's turned out pretty well. I'm quite happy with that. If you recall, this thing was an absolute joke. It didn't look good at all, and now not only we have fixed it, but we've given it a little bit of an upgrade. So pretty stoked about that. I've just got this little bit here that I'm not happy with, but what's happening there is the vinyl is delaminating from the panel, and it's the same problem. The glue is just letting go after all these years. But to fix this, I would have had to take this entire vinyl panel off of the door card, and to be quite frank, I'm not actually sure that's possible, because the way this looks to me, this was I think it was heat molded to the door panel during manufacture. It's just too perfect. All the creases and lines are too perfect. This was, I think, definitely done by a machine. So for me to take this whole thing off, I'll never put it back straight. So I'm just gonna leave that there and see how bad it gets. It's gonna do for me. I'm not too worried about that. I think that's totally fine for me. This isn't a show car, this isn't going to SEMA onto a stand. It's my daily driver, and for a daily driver, damn, things are starting to look all right. So anyway, that's done. Time to do that one. So that's it. That's how the results turned out, and I think they're pretty good. I hope you think so too. And if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit that like button. Now, this isn't a hard job, it's a fiddly one though. So it'll take you a little while, you're gonna need some patience. All in all, definitely doable at home, and I really like the results now, especially with this vinyl wrap matching the center console. I want to give out a special thanks to David Laguiard. Thank you, my friend, for putting me on to the glue and the adhesive remover. I'll leave a link below if you want to pick some of that up as well. It was actually really good stuff. So if you're an Alpha fan and you follow this channel because of the Alpha GT, then stay tuned, because there is a new video coming up where I do a similar project on that Alpha. But all in all, a fairly successful job. This doesn't look terrible anymore. So I hope you're enjoying this journey. Make sure you check out some of the other videos that I've linked above and below, and yeah, have some fun. Enjoy working on your cars at home in your garage like I am here. So if you like this content, subscribe, and enough chit chat from me. I'll see you next time.